A safe ending to a dangerous situation as an Amber Alert goes out in Utah.
And we're less than 24 hours away from the one and only VP debate, and it's right here in Salt Lake City. We speak to both campaigns, how they're prepping for tomorrow night's big showdown. And students fighting racism at Dixie High School, how the basketball team is coming together to support one of their own and spread the message beyond the court. Thanks for joining us on 2 News at 9. First at 9, our crew on scene right now of a shooting at the Texas Roadhouse in Taylorsville. These are live pictures right now. Police say there was some sort of fight between a motorcyclist and the driver of a Jeep. So the driver apparently backed his Jeep over the motorcyclist. That's when shots were fired. A person in the Jeep was shot and taken to the hospital. The motorcyclist also taken to the hospital. Police say 2 people were responsible for opening fire and both of them are in custody. Of course, we will continue to follow that, but those are those live pictures out of Taylorsville right now. Also right now, 3 people are in custody after a wild end to an Amber Alert for a 6-year-old girl from Park City. Police say her father made statements about trading her for another child in Los Angeles. These details pretty disturbing. Jeremy Harris is live at Unified Police Headquarters. And Jeremy, what are you learning tonight?
Well, this was a tense situation, Mallory, and thankfully it ended safely. In fact, this is the Yukon that was at the center of this Amber Alert today. It's now here in a police yard, and the 3 people are in police custody. What we know about them is one of them is the father of the little girl who was abducted. Police say that she is not supposed to be in her father's custody. She's supposed to be with the grandma, and that her father took her from a neighborhood outside Park City this morning and had made some statements about going to Los Angeles to trade her for another child. Of course, that got police's attention, and they decided that they were going to put out an Amber Alert today. Well, that led them to their suspect, Mark Delgado, who you can see some video of here. We got him going into the police station. It was ultimately some very smart folks out in the community who ended up seeing this Yukon. They called police, said, hey, this is at a car wash out in Kearns. That got police over there. They were able to catch up to the suspect, and 2 other adults and the child. Everybody was taken into police custody.
Ultimately, the Amber Alert, it worked, and this is a prime example of getting that information out.
Now, you may remember Utah has not always had a good track record with Amber Alerts. In fact, over the last few years, there have been 3 cases where basically worthless Amber Alerts were sent out to phones. The state has been taking steps to fix the program, and coming up tonight on 2 News at 10 o'clock, we talked to the State Department of Public Safety about how they played a role in today's Amber Alert and their response to this going off well today. It went out to phones, and they were able to get that child safely back into police custody. And so we'll talk with DPS about what this could mean for Amber Alerts going forward in about an hour on 2 News at 10. For now, reporting live outside Unified Police, Jeremy Harris, 2 News.
Yeah, Jeremy, I got my alert loud and clear this afternoon. Thanks so much. All right, let's talk about the weather. It is fall, it is warm out there, but changes on the way, Chase.
Yeah, we have some big changes, Mallory. Finally, we need it, right? Temperatures right now are cooling off after a really warm day. We're in the mid-60s in Ogden and Salt Lake Provo, though. You're at 54 degrees, so probably need a jacket this evening. It is October, and we have some long nights and clear skies, and that's a recipe for those temperatures to drop. We did hit 82 today, though, in Salt Lake, and that is well above average. Normal high is 69 degrees this time of year, with St. George at 92. Tonight, overnight temperatures will likely be in the low 50s, maybe some upper 40s along the Wasatch Front. Colder out in eastern Utah and those higher valleys, and we'll see lows in the 40s in central Utah. Staying dry for the rest of the week. Now, temperatures will still be in the 80s by Friday, but here comes our weekend storm. Saturday, 78. Sunday, only a high of 54 degrees. I'll let you know who gets the rain, who gets the snow, and how much. That's all coming up in my full forecast in just a few more minutes.
Ooh, a huge drop. All right, thanks so much, Chase. Well, today, the State Health Department reporting more than 700 new coronavirus cases here in Utah. But that's actually less than we've seen the past several days, but they're also adding 6 new deaths to the state totals. A big takeaway from today's number, Salt Lake County was 45% of the new cases with 325. Utah County had 190 cases.
In the last couple of weeks, we have seen the 3 highest positive days of COVID in the entire pandemic in the city and in Salt Lake County.
Mayor Erin Mendenhall is formally requesting that Salt Lake City shift back to orange in the coronavirus risk level.
We know that the trend is growing. It's growing at a rapid rate, and we're seeing some of the highest numbers we've ever seen in the pandemic. It's time for us to take action.
Mendenhall says the city will look at modifying some of the orange requirements. For example, in team sports, they may let sports continue, but not allow fans to attend. But decisions like that would come if and when Governor Herbert approves that move to orange. As coronavirus outbreaks continue in schools all across Utah, school and health officials are working overtime to prevent further spread. Each health department and school actually has a liaison. So if there's a positive case, the two work together to track down who the student or staff came in close contact with. We spoke with one of those liaisons, Julia Glade, a health educator with the Salt Lake County Health Department, and she says education on the virus is key.
Just reminding them that, this is why you need to practice social distancing. This is why it's so important to wear your face mask.
She says each case is different when it comes to how many people are exposed. She also added those working to stop the spread in schools are pulling long hours to keep students healthy. The COVID case count at the state prison in Draper, it continues to rise, and we've heard that prisoners are suffering, but tonight we're also learning that guards are as well. One corrections officer sat down exclusively with our Jenna Rowe, and that's coming up in just 10 minutes on 2 News at 9. In southern Utah, some racist remarks aimed at a high school student are pushing parents, students, and even coaches to take action. Michael Locklear shows us how they're coming together to take on racism.
This is Kian Webb, 6'8", a basketball player who speaks his mind and wears his views.
Probably when a kid called me a cotton picker in the hallway, that's one of them that really bothered me. I don't even know the kid.
Kian's a sophomore at Dixie High School in St. George, who's hearing more slurs in the halls these days.
Just a bunch of racist comments from ignorant kids or just kids trying to be funny.
As a mom, that hurt.
Michelle Webb says what happened when her son wore his I Can't Breathe shirt hit her most.
He was called a terrorist, and other kids said, take off the t-shirt, you're a terrorist, or, you hate police officers.
Kian brushes it off, but he'd like to end racism.
So it has just pretty much every skin tone.
His basketball team is rallying around him, now wearing these equality shirts before games.
I'm just appreciative of my team that they wore it with me and they're just with me through all this.
And one of his coaches is working to start a new group at school, a Black Student Union.
That will really empower the students. That will help educate the students.
Michelle says she and other parents are just getting started, looking at trainings and other ways to educate.
We want to address it head on in a very positive direction.
Don't be afraid to stand up to racism.
Michael Locklear, 2 News.
How they're coming together. Okay, new video tonight of the stage being set for tomorrow night's vice presidential debate at the University of Utah. Many wondering, will tomorrow night's matchup take a kinder, more respectful tone than last week's presidential debate? Christina Flores talked to both the Pence and Harris campaigns about tomorrow's debate and has the latest on what they had to say.
A representative for Vice President Mike Pence says he is ready for the debate.
He's ready to show the stark contrast that you're going to see between the vice president and the agenda and the America First agenda that him and President Trump have put forward, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, who are running on a platform to the left.
Ali Pardo says the vice president's debate style will be different than President Trump's.
The president and the vice president are both very different people. The vice president has been a congressman, has been a governor, has been a legislator, has been all different types of leaders. President Trump is more of a businessman type and approaches it from that perspective.
Well, I hope this debate will be different because Donald Trump, from the moment the Vice President Biden spoke, was interrupting. And I understand on a certain level why he did that, because he didn't want to talk about his failed response to the coronavirus. He didn't want to talk about the economic collapse.
That's Tom Perez, head of the Democratic National Committee in Salt Lake with Senator Kamala Harris. To protect from COVID-19 during the debate, one campaign says a plexiglass screen between the candidates is a done deal. The other says the rules are still in negotiation.
I think there should be barriers given the situation with the vice president's interaction with the president, who now has COVID.
We did everything that we were told we needed to do to be in the safest environment possible, and that is what we agreed to. Whatever the Biden-Harris campaign continues to kind of move the goalpost to do what they think will look better, we're following the science, following the doctors, and doing what's best for everybody in the room.
Christina Flores, 2 News.
All right, we will have live special coverage at 6:30 tomorrow night leading into the big debate, and it's starting at 7 o'clock. You can always find more information on our website, KUTV.com. Coming up here on 2 News at 9, a big change in this weekend's BYU football game. The new decision made in the wake of Utah County's spike in COVID cases.
Honestly, they should have called in the National Guard a long time ago.
And a COVID outbreak at the Utah State Prison. An officer speaking exclusively to 2 News tonight who says prison officials do not have it under control.